We are less than 1 week away from the official start of the Formula 1 2022 season, and like pretty much every other F1 fan out there, it is time for me to make my predictions for the 2022 season. With the biggest regulation change in Formula 1 history fast approaching, many things could happen this year, with mid and rear field teams making their way up the order and teams at the front maybe even falling behind a bit. So, in no particular order, let's get into my predictions for this year so that when the season is finished, we can all look back and see how right, or probably how wrong I was. My first prediction is that Red Bull won't finish the Constructors' Championship in the top 3. After Red Bull's fairly successful and chaotic and even exciting championship battle with Mercedes in 2021, I think that the Milton Keynes outfit will finish 4th or even 5th in a Constructors' Championship this year. It was clear that Red Bull spent a lot of time, money and effort to create a car that was worthy of competing with Mercedes in 2021, and while that paid off with Max Verstappen having a championship winning car, especially at the start of the 2021 season, I think that this will come to bite them in the arse in 2022. However, we will just have to see how well Adrian Newey's design fares against the competition this year. They looked pretty strong in Bahrain testing, with them changing the shape of the side pods before the start of day 3, and with Max Verstappen getting the fastest lap that day. However, it is never a good idea to read into pre-season testing too much, as many teams end up sandbagging or looking a bit stronger than they really are. All you have to do is look at 2021 pre-season testing to see how true this is. My second prediction is that Ferrari will be Constructors' Champions in 2022. There has been a lot of hype around the Scuderia for this year, and rightly so, but they haven't had it easy recently. 2020 was an absolute disaster for the team where they only finished 6th in the Constructors' Championship. 2021 was a big improvement for Ferrari, the car was a lot stronger and Carlos Sainz joined the team. I don't think anybody was expecting Carlos Sainz to finish ahead of Charles Leclerc in 2021, but he managed to pull it off in his first year with the team, which just shows how adaptable he is as a driver, and how consistent he is with every race weekend. Ferrari have spent a lot of time developing their power unit and car for 2022, with Matteo Binotto spending a lot of time at the factory to help develop the car. He may not be the best team principal out there, but the team principle and, the whole culture at Ferrari has changed a lot in the last year, and I believe that this will ultimately help them to become Constructors' Champions in 2022. Before I continue with my final 3 predictions, I would just like to ask that if you have made it this far into the video and have enjoyed it so far, to please drop a like and to subscribe to the channel. I will be uploading videos a few times a week and would really appreciate your support in helping me grow this channel. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's continue with my final 3 predictions. Prediction number 3 is that Carlos Sainz, George Russell and Lando Norris will all win their first races this season. I have spoken about how quickly Carlos Sainz got up to speed with the Ferrari last season, and with the regulation change for 2022 and every team having brand new cars that are vastly different to what's come before, I think that Carlos Sainz, George Russell and Lando Norris will all win their first races this year. Sainz is a very adaptable and fast driver, and with my belief that Ferrari will have the fastest car this season, Sainz winning a race at some point makes sense. It's only a matter of time. George Russell has moved to Mercedes this year, and while I think that Ferrari will be the team to beat, you cannot doubt Mercedes. Although the W13 has had a lot of issues in testing, George Russell is an extremely capable driver who will now be in a competitive car to be able to showcase his talents, which is why me saying that him getting his first win this year simply makes sense. And as for Lando Norris, well, he was so close to winning in Russia last year, we all saw how painful that was, but unfortunately, him failing to box for intermediate tyres is what ultimately cost him the win. However, his talent is clear, and I think that McLaren will have a competitive car in 2022 as they have spent a lot of time working on the new regulations, and they looked fairly good in testing as well. My 4th prediction is that Haas will score points this year. I think it's safe to say that the 2021 season was all about just surviving for America's only Formula 1 team. Although they scored 0 points and came last in the Constructors' Championship, they didn't spend any time developing that 2021 car and instead chose to put all of their effort into the 2022 car. And with them now having 2 competent drivers in the team instead of just one, I think that will make a really good driver pairing, as Kevin Magnussen is experienced with that team and Mick Schumacher is no longer a rookie. I am very much looking forward to seeing what Mick Schumacher can do against an experienced teammate, and although he was consistently beating Nikita Mazepin last year, it wasn't a very useful comparison, as I'm sure that most drivers on the grid would have beaten him in the same car. I do think that Haas will definitely improve this year, and while I don't think they will be competing for wins all the time, I do think they will be competing for points. My 5th and final prediction is that Alfa Romeo will have the worst car this year. Now, as much as it pains me to say it, I believe that Alfa Romeo overall will have the weakest package and they will be last in the Constructors' Championship. Although they now have Valtteri Bottas driving for them, and the rookie Zhou Guanyu joining the team, someone has to finish 10th in the Constructors, and I think it will be Alfa Romeo. Williams and Haas are looking a bit stronger this year, and Alfa Romeo have had a lot of reliability issues in testing, although so have Williams to be fair, and they just never completed as many laps as, we would have hoped. I do think that Bottas will be able to drag the car into the points a few times this year, but overall I don't think it will be enough to secure them 9th place or above. As for Zhou Guanyu, I think it's a bit too hard to tell at this point how he will do as a rookie. However, he's clearly a talented driver and did quite well in F2, but we will have to wait and see how well he does. So, that's my 5 predictions for this season. If you enjoyed my first video, please don't forget to drop a like and to subscribe to my channel. Your support will be very much appreciated, and until next time, have a good one.